Now I want to do this. I want to do a similar thing everywhere else where I'm doing a simple initialization like that. Oh, how about here? How about in the button new click handler? Okay. Similar deal. We're going to define a new variable I. Now I haven't talked about this a whole lot, but notice how I defined a variable I in this function, and I already had a variable I in this function. Because this variable I is defined inside of button cheat click, as soon as I exit this function, this variable I ceases to exist. So I, in this case, does not exist outside of this function. So it's perfectly fine for me to create another variable I inside of this function so that this function will have a variable I. These two variables are really different, even though they have the same name, because they're in different contexts. Small little side note there. Alright, so I'm going to create a for statement here. For I equals 0. Again, we want to go from 0 to 3, right? So I less than 4. Here, as a different example, we can use less than or equal to. So how about I less than or equal to 3? It's the same thing, right? If I is less than or equal to 3, that's the same as saying I is less than 4, as long as I is an integer, right? Then I plus plus. So the for loop says, start out with I is 0, increment I at the end of each time through, and finish when I is no longer less than or equal to 3. Okay? I'll do an open curly brace. I'm going to keep just the first secret line here. Change this index to I. Like that. And close curly brace. So now the button new click handler should create a new secret code for us using the for loop. Okay, so let's make sure that still works. Cheat. Okay, new code. Yep, it's different, and it's the same second code that we had before. So that all works too. All right. Now, I can't use a for loop here. And here's why. Because even though these 4 lines of code look pretty much the same, the only thing that's different is the numbers. These numbers on the right side are not indices. They are part of the name of that variable. I have no way to increment the name of a variable unless that variable is itself inside an array. Well, that's what I'm doing right here. I'm putting these variables inside of the buttons array. So in this particular case, I can't do this in a for loop, okay? Because what if I did? Then I would have, this will be I, right? But I can't put an I here, or I plus 1. That wouldn't work. This has to be the name of a variable, which is it's a literal name, okay? So there's no way that I can do this. So that's going to have to stay the way it was, okay? But where we can use looping and arrays is when we compare the user's guess to the secret combination. And this is the true power of arrays. And this is why I didn't want to address this last piece of this game until you guys knew arrays and for loops.